Here's the deal. I now own 18 metal detectors. The first step is admitting you have a problem. And I have number 19 on the way with the Deus 2.
I have a legend with me.
But the thing is, I don't work for anybody, and I don't have any plans for working for anybody.
Let's see what it does. I bet it finds metal.
I truly enjoy metal detecting. It is my de-stressing activity, and I need it in my life. And quite simply, if you're curious what the best is on the market, you're going to see me using it. Slow your roll. It's not quite that simple. You see, every area in the world has slightly different ground. You know, the differences are minimal, but New York, for example, I put a premium on separation because we live in bottle cap land. That might not apply to other areas of the world that have a lot less traffic. So, again, what am I looking for? Give me separation, give me depth, give me audio, and this is a new one for me. Give me audio that I can easily understand what the target is. To a lesser extent, give me ergonomics. To an even lesser extent, give me a trustworthy target ID. That might sound a little bit low on the list, but honestly, if I could get a repeating signal that's deep, I understand. I totally understand. The further down it is with all of the other possible metals in the soil around, I know that's not going to be accurate, but give me that consistent beep at a deep depth, reasonable target ID, I'm going to like that detector. I take Nokta Makro metal detectors very seriously. The Legend is my third Nokta Makro metal detector. And let me tell you, they are innovators. And they really give you a great value. I've said in multiple videos, the best value out there, dollar for dollar, is the Simplex.
We got about 3 hours to low tide.
It's pretty clear that Nokta, without directly saying it, they're going for the Equinox. At least in New York, I can't speak for other areas of the world. I would say 80, if not 90% of the detectorists are using the Minelab Equinox right now, and I am one of them. That is what I consider to be, at this moment, the best detector that all of the companies are shooting for right now. And what Nokta is trying to do is create that at a better price point. Let's see how it does.
You know, the waves are down now. The tides are down somewhat now. So, let go. Turning on for the first time. So cool. All right, let's pair these headphones. Okay, that took me literally 2 seconds. I had to go over to the Bluetooth, and you have to switch. You have to press the plus button, and you have to turn it on. It's that simple. That's pretty easy. I see I made this too short. It's got two telescopic angles that you could do. I'm gonna lengthen this one a little bit because I think the other one was fully extended, and we should be good to go. Got my pinpointer. Oh, and yeah, we're in park. Oops. All right, pretty easy. I seem to have the sensitivity up. Yep, turning it down, turning it up. And the iron, there's an iron bar for when, I like this, iron and conductive. So let's find something, then we can play around with that. It chatters at the beach. I could be doing something wrong. I definitely could be doing something wrong. Okay, here. MD, MW. Okay, wet, dry. Still chattering. Not my shoes. It's almost like it's falsing. Or ground balancing. Falsing, jeez.
This problem will be worked out.
Oh, we're going to the manual. Okay. Frequency shift cancellation, that was the first button that I saw. Recovery speed setting, I'm familiar with that. 60 target IDs, harmonic tones, adjustable threshold, that's the hum in the background. Okay, let's look into beach mode. We're actually watching a video. Okay, great camera work, let's get to it. This is by Detect Sussex.
Okay, so out on the beach for the first time with the Legend. Let's have a little look at settings. Machine on.
Alright, I'll let you know what I learned.
Now.
Okay, so this second thing here is recovery speed. We're going to keep that in the middle. The guy was saying you hold that down, you get stability. It's actually at its most stable. Jeez. Oh, let's go back.
You might be a little bit lost right now. When I was fumbling around with the detector, I have no doubt I screwed up some settings that were in there. And what I did was I did a quick reference of the manual and I set everything to neutral settings. So in other words, recovery speed, I went to 5. Stability, I went to 3. Sensitivity, I jacked up all the way at first, but I brought it down from 30 to 25. This is day one. We are not looking for optimal settings. We are looking for workable.
All right, I'm gonna take it. I took Bluetooth off so that you could hear exactly what I hear. All right, in beach mode. Hear the chirping? I thought I had something back here. Not my shoes. To me, this is falsing. I'm in multi-wet. I'm in beach mode.
I remembered at this point a video that Dilek put out. I'm going to edit this, but it was one thing I will give Dilek and Nokta. They're really tuned into the conversations that people are having about their products. And it seems that people were having the same problem that I had. And this was one of the responses.
Hello everybody, it's Dilek with Nokta Makro. As I see many people getting their Legends in their hands, I just want to give you a little information for the beach mode, especially for those people, you know, who hunt on the beach mostly. If you're a hunter on the beach, okay guys, we actually added a new setting that that was not part of the test units. This is a new setting we added. Okay, that was one of the actually developments, which probably I never mentioned in my video. So that's why I want to mention it now. Now, when you select beach mode, okay, if you know, this all actually will depend on the user. If you're a user who wants like total stability, no noise, very quiet searching, then you can play with the setting called the stability. Okay, and this setting stability is not shown on the menu. Okay, so that you know. So when you're in the beach mode, when you select recovery speed and push the pinpoint button, you will see on the right side of the screen the letters ST come up. Okay, and then the stability setting range is between 1 to 5. Okay, at 1 you may get chatter.
That was it. I was at 1. You're going to hear me mix this up a little bit later in the video.
As you increase the stability, the detector will run very quietly. However, at maximum stability, you may lose sensitivity for small jewelry. Okay, so this will all depend on what the user wants. There are some users who want to run their units very stable. They don't want to hear anything, no chatter. Then you can max out the stability. But your sensitivity, for the small jewelry will be less.
I set it at 3. Like I said, when I put everything middle of the scale, it reacted perfectly. You're going to see that switch happen within the next few minutes of this video.
Let's go back. Let's put everything in the middle of the scale. This is 5. And let's try again.
At this point of the video, I was frustrated with the machine. And in fairness, every new machine you go through this. But I was frustrated with the machine. This is where we switch. I went for the low-hanging fruit, as we call it in education. I knew I could pull stuff in the dry. I know that's the easiest environment at the beach. Instead of just tearing out my hair in the wet, let's go to the dry first, and then let's revisit the wet.
All right, let's switch this to multi-dry. Okay. Let's see what we could get in the dry. I mean, if you're on a sanded beach, there's really nothing that you could do. I just want to lock in on a signal. Some detectors, they run a little bit chirpy. I sense that this is one of them. Although, when I started, I was on that stability setting at 1. I like the iron thing. That, I got a little bit of a repeat there. That's a little bit too advanced of a signal right now to dig, being that this is my first time using this detector. I saw the iron signature go up, so I skipped it. We have some piles of sand, sometimes right at the bottom of piles. You know, the coins wash up, the waves hit and the coins wash up. We're gonna look in here. Then again, could be a sanded beach. We got our first signal. Mid-tone 49. That was pretty clear. And we got it. And I see it. It is a beaten up quarter. Okay, that would ring up higher on the scale, but beaten up quarter. That's our first target. You know what's ironic? Dry is more stable than the wet so far.
That was a guess, and I think I was wrong right there in terms of the dry being more stable than the wet, meaning the multi-dry mode being more stable than the multi-wet mode. And the reason was the stability. I adjusted the stability.
So let's go multi-wet. Let's see what we got. Putting the stuff in the middle of the scale might have helped a lot. We're gonna spiral out from this, but this was in the high wet. Understandably, the chatter comes back when you're running at a sensitivity of 30. 25 seems to be doable. I'm running it in the wet now. That reactivity change and putting the other stuff on the middle of the scale seems to have stabilized it. Oh. You know, we got to get into all metal mode on this, because all my other detectors I go in all metal mode. There we go. Oh, this is much better. I can hear the iron now.
This is a tip that just goes across all detectors. Learn all metal mode. You want to hear everything. There's pieces of information that's missing if you have stuff notched out. I realize everybody does that from time to time. But let's say that you're at the edge of a big piece of iron and you're hearing that high tone that very often happens. You could go right next to it if you're in all metal mode and hear the thump, the thud of the iron.
You're not getting all the information if you're not going in all metal mode. There we go. All right, got my second signal. This is a nickel. This is actually something I could spend. That first quarter was obliterated, so this one we just earned 5 cents back to the purchase price. All right, so we got rid of that, the chatter that was there. That was a reactivity issue. And now we've pulled, maybe 2 inches down 2 coins. Let's see if we could find something that is deeper, starting in the dry. I think the wet is sanded. That's why I'm not going down to the wet. Oh, we got something right here. Oh, behold.
Behold, I have found a key. Therefore, cheesecake has been unlocked.
Might have another nickel here. The other thing I want to figure out, the Equinox is notorious for pulling the smallest of objects. I want to see the sizes of what is being pulled. I want to see some small stuff pulled. We have, it's another nickel. I think it's Jefferson. Yep, another Jefferson nickel. I hope you could hear this on my headphones. 54. Seems to be far down. Let's see how far down. Yeah, let's make this a live dig. I took 1 big scoop. Let's see how many scoops. Still there. Oh, that's deep. Yep, at the bottom of this. That's a good pull. That's a really good pull. Okay, quarter. Let's put this down there. Remember, I have the, this is 11-inch coil right there. That was a good 12 inches down. And that was not a weak signal by any means. Okay, it's got game. 22. In fact, let's go. Let's take the. Oops. Just so you hear this. Let's take the Bluetooth off. That was a nickel at about 6 inches. Got what seems to be a deep 30. Beaver tail, I would say maybe about 11 inches down. This is 9. Yeah, maybe about 11 inches down. Interesting signal. You can see the there's the iron gauge and the non-ferrous gauge. They're not flashing right now. Localized pinpoint. Let's get it. It is an old penny. You know what's interesting to me? Look at this. That was in the 40s. What the heck? So that's a lot different than the ring up on the Simplex. So we're gonna have to do a target ID video.
Again, at this point, I did not know that the target ID maxes out at 60.
Solid 20. It's actually in here, it was not as deep as I thought. This might be something that's small. Yeah.
Now, this is what is left inconclusive in this video. The Equinox is legendary for getting these tiny little pieces of metal. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad, but I have found many tiny pieces of gold with it, so I'd say it's more good than bad. Is this something that matters to you? It seems that if you increase the reactivity, you're going to be tuning out those tiny pieces of metal. And it's a trade-off. I want to know in the comments, is that something that is a big factor for you?
This is a weird one. Look, I'm rapping. Scratching a record. Yeah, we'll call this record scratch signal. It's ringing up like that penny from before. Think we got it? Oh, there we go. We just got our first silver.
Haagen-Dazs has been unlocked.
Ooh, okay, so did that give a different audio for silver? We just got a merc. Well, there we go. First silver with the legend. What might have been part of that signal, there was a zinkin right next to it. That silver, I would say, would be like 9-10 inches down. Okay, let's go. $32, $33. Look what happened as we got closer. Got fooled by iron, but that's okay. I get fooled by iron all the time. On to the next. Uh-oh. We got a record scratch signal. Error. This again was in the 12-inch hole zone. It's high 40s now. And Interesting. It is a bent quarter. This is a wild recovery VDI. This is very strange.
That's another thing I want to hear from you in the comments. Like, how important is target ID? Like, consistent target ID. I'll preface this, thinking back, I use the Equinox a lot, and the super deep signals on the Equinox, they're nowhere close. Like, if you're getting a quarter, which is usually 29 on the Equinox, it's not, out of the norm that you get something high 30s. But this just seemed a little bit like one standard deviation more to it. In that coins in the ground are ringing up different than coins out of the ground.
I've jacked up the sensitivity. And no fair comparison happens yet with the Equinox because this is a smaller coil. Listen to this as I get closer. Big difference in what I was getting down there versus what I pull up here. And this, maybe we got another one. I think we got another. Have to take a good look at this one. Bouncing around the 40s. All right, this is going to be the deepest pull of the day. And that is from the bottom there. I'd say 13, 14. Well, maybe not. Maybe 12, 13 still. Let's see what we got. I turned the camera off too early. It's a dime. All right, I just got a nail at 25, and it was like about a good 5-6 inches down. I wouldn't call it a smaller item. I'd call it a thinner item, but it gets that. I like it. Okay, this was just a dime, but look at this. Let's put this back, cover it a little bit. You saw that was clearly in the 50s when it was down in the ground. The target ID jumps quite a bit. Let's dig. Another dime.
Listen carefully to this one.
This is a good sign. You hear that long audio response? Look. That's something that's huge. So that's a clue. That's good.
One of the biggest breakthroughs that I've had over the past year or two is just understanding that there's a big difference between beep and beep. I know that sounds very little, but it's the little clues that it gives you. Also, you could pinpoint to see where the edges of an item are. But I could usually tell on my Equinox, just when it beeps, what the size of the item is.
There's a nail on the ground here. Listen. You hear the sped up audio on it. It tells you that it's close. That's something that's very Equinox right there. Another dime. This one was surface.
Haagen-Dazs has been unlocked.
And we're gonna have to check this one. I have seen silver dimes turn this color. It would be a rosy if it was. Aluminum cap at 41. Deep. Memorial penny from 1960s. All right, I have a better sense of this now, and we've seen the capabilities in the dry. Let's see what we could find in the wet. We had problems with falsing early on. I think we solved that. Let's switch over to from MD to MW. Let's turn down the sensitivity to 25. Might have to go lower than that. What fixed it for me? No, it's not fixed yet. It was going, I was going to say what fixed it was going mid-scale. For reactivity, I could go back to 1. I also had the recovery speed super low, but I moved that to the middle of the scale. Now what I want to see is, are there any repeats? That's something I'll dig. Well, we got a problem. It's almost like that signal has gone away. Shows up mostly on this side. Let's see. Waves came in. Let's dig. This is a confusing one. Look at these numbers. I see no iron, or little iron. It seems to be more conductive. Am I getting a solid repeat though? I'd say no. Interestingly, above the water, yes I am. I get it more when I'm out of the water. I would guess that this is something that's big. I've taken a lot out. Might have moved it. I think we got it. We got it. What the heck is this? Well, that was pretty far down, wasn't it? We got a solid repeat. We got a signal. Now I got to put all this back.
That was a signal that shows capability right there. That's what I was looking for. So in the wet, and we're talking about far down, this is something that is maybe twice as big as a quarter. So you should get a, be able to get a deeper signal with that. But still, in the wet, moving water section, because the wave came over and hit it, that was an impressive pull.
I got a good signal here. 1819. We got it. Well, it's the right color. What in the world? All right, good pull. I'm not going to test it today because I don't have my waders on, but one area where the even the Equinox struggles is when there's moving water. So we will test that in the near future. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to the headphones because I want to get used to that. But I think you heard it did pretty well. And if I could handle the Bluetooth, you can handle the Bluetooth. You could hear the iron a lot better with the headphones on.
I might be the last one to know this, but I've been jamming with those headphones, man. They've been really, really cool. I've connected my iPhone to them, and I've been playing Apple Music with it, and it sounds really, really good.
All right, I'm starting to get this. Getting a signal, low 20s. I tell you, that's an interesting piece of crushed metal right here. Look at that. You generally don't see copper that color. Similar signal, 26. Pulith Tabith. This is day one. This is blowing away the Simplex in the salt. Simplex is able to detect, in the salt water. I could tell right away that this is better. This is a lot better, despite the rough start that I got off to. So, good job. I'm back to the dry for the last few signals because that's just where everything has been. You saw it pull that really deep signal that I had to go way down for. It's capable. That just proved it to me, but the signals are back here. So let's try to get some treasure. Quarter, super green penny.
One last signal.
It was a soda can, but yeah, that's deep.
And my thoughts. Everything that I say is too early. You can't compare more than 2 years of use of one detector that happens to be my favorite, the Minelab Equinox, with one afternoon, maybe 2 hours of use with the brand new Nokta Legend. My mind immediately goes to plug and play ability. It could be familiarity, but I would give the advantage to the Equinox on plug and play ability. You just put it in beach mode. You don't have to worry about stability or anything like that. I had to do some research while I was on the beach and find that stability solution. And fortunately I did, and it worked really well after that. But in terms of plug and play ability, I would give that to the Equinox early. Performance, in terms of depth, and you'll see this in upcoming videos. I already have several videos done, and I don't want to get ahead of myself. In terms of depth, it's very close. It's very close to the Equinox. In terms of target separation, which was a big question mark, it's very close to the Equinox. For the beach, what is it missing? Well, we didn't really get any small signals. And, I've found small pieces of gold. That's one of the trademarks of the Equinox. Equinox users, they get big stuff, they get small stuff. Some of that small stuff has been overlooked for years and has been cleaned up recently by Equinox users. I don't see the capacity to do that. And when you have that stability setting, it to one to where you could get those small objects, it's just chattery. Connected to that, does it have the ability to hear size? Again, there was nothing that was really small that we found, but there were bigger objects. You're able to hear, when you sweep over it, with the trained ear, that it is a bigger object. That's huge. No pun intended. Ergonomics, it was comfortable. It feels like a very sturdy detector. And my shaft of my Equinox has been destroyed over the years. I can't speak on the durability. Nobody can at this point. But it sure seems to be sturdy. It's got the telescopic ability in the shaft. And a lot of people have switched over to the Detect Edge shaft because of that. But this is built in to the Legend. The Legend has a flashlight. The Legend has a clock. The headphones are bloody spectacular. The sound that you get out of them, really, really good. But truthfully, I didn't feel like I was giving up much, from switching to the Legend from the Equinox. It is very, very close. I'm shocked that this is coming out of my mouth, but if you think about it, So you get the Nokta Legend that goes for $635, and you get the headphones with that. That's just thrown in. That's included. And the 600, not the 800, 600 is going, given price, about 700 right now. And there are some things that need to be worked out. Like, for instance, it depends on how much you like to get small objects. You could get gold earrings like crazy with the Equinox, no doubt about it. I don't see that capability with the Legend yet. But here's what you got to remember. There have been multiple updates of the Equinox that have been done over the past few years. The Legend is going to have its first few coming in the next few weeks. The updates for the Equinox have helped it tremendously. I remember the bottle cap problem that it had before they added the V2. So I'm sure that there's going to be more that's added. I know they're adding an iron bias, and I'm understanding where they were coming from with not wanting to add that, because this machine barely picks up iron. Wait until you see tomorrow's video where we take this to the park. As you could tell, I'm pretty excited about this. This is a really, really good detector. To say it's better than an Equinox, it's a little premature. It's a little premature. But congratulations to Nokta. That's a heck of a detector. If you buy one, you're not going to go wrong. That's my honest opinion. And we're just getting started. We're going to dig deeper. And, with the other detectors, I have made, it's called the Book On. I've done it with the Garrett Apex. I've done it with the Vanquish. I've done it with the Equinox. I've done it with, other detectors that I've rated. After I use this for a minimum of 50 hours, we're going to put out a video with my complete observations. I would wait on purchasing for that because we're going to test it in different scenarios. But I'm telling you right now, I'm very impressed. So stay tuned. Tomorrow's video is going to be in a park, and it passed the test on the beach for me. The only thing is it's going to be a little bit more to learn. If you're not a button pusher, if you want plug and play, I think Equinox all day. But this is formidable. Thanks for watching, everybody.